everybody, and welcome to our favorites. And we are working our way through our favorite Christmas story adaptation. Not Christmas story.
A Christmas
Carol
Adaptation.
We're not adapting. What's his name? Getting his eye shot out. It's not.
You'll shoot your eye out.
A Christmas story.
Yeah. Well, I can't
there we go.
Ralphie.
That's it.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, we're not doing that. We're doing all of our Scrooges, all of our Ebenezers. Yeah, we're getting into those adaptations.
We're getting the Dickens out. Remember,
Hey!
we said. Remember, this is our second week.
Yes. Oh, yes. This is our second week. My pick today is the iconic. If you haven't seen this Bill Murray icon, it is Scrooged. Scrooged.
He's been Scrooged. He is not Scrooged.
Exclamation point too.
There should be an exclamation.
There should be.
Yes.
No, if it was an exclamation point, it'd be like Scoob. But instead, Scrooged.
Don't do that. It gives me PTSD from that movie.
Scoob.
Hate that movie so
I'm gonna
much.
get a little pen, and it's gonna be one of those the old ones that you click, and it's like a line from a movie, but instead it's gonna be, Scoob.
So you're gonna Pavlov's dog me in a way?
What is that from?
Who?
Pavlov.
Anyway, Scrooge. No, this is the hammiest, cheesiest,
dumbest, stupidest thing that I had to suffer through.
I love it so much.
I know why you love it.
Why is that?
Because he just screams the whole movie. It's 100 minutes of Bill Murray yelling at people, and it's not fun.
What?
Parts of it are fun.
I will say, he is, like, watching this again, he is truly, like obviously Scrooge is supposed to be a bad person, right?
He's not Scrooge, though.
Well, that's true.
He's Frank Cross.
He's Frank Cross. But he is by far one of the most despicable people that I've ever met, and they still...
Well, you met him.
Hmm?
You met him.
Well, okay, not met, but ever seen on screen. Like, he's an absolute idiot. But, of course, they still come back. And I will say... When did I first watch this? Like my dad first showed this to me around.
I was gonna say this feels like something you would have watched when you were a child.
Yeah, like I think I was like 13 to 15 years old.
So we're talking about 2008, 2010.
Yeah. And so when I watched,
I didn't mean to do that to you. I was just trying to track it in my mind.
Yeah. So when I saw the Ghost of Christmas Future, like that legitimately scared me. I was like, what the hell is that thing? But no, it's just funny.
Still not as creepy as the Muppets one.
I don't remember what it is. Oh, what does the Ghost of Christmas Future look like in that?
Do you remember when it opens up its stomach and it's like all...
And then Frank closes it and then... It's like the three people in the rib cage.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to say, not as creepy as the Muppet Christmas Carol past is terrifying. It's like that kid floating ghost puppet.
Is it like see-through?
It looks like something that, it looks like Eraserhead Baby and Dark Crystal people had another baby, and it floats and says hello.
That sounds disturbing.
Yeah, that one for some reason past tends to be creepier than future for some reason, and the present's just
I don't know.
jolly.
Mm-hmm.
The Jim Carrey one, it's not that bad.
I've never seen it.
He's a candle, I think.
You showed me that, and you were oh, that's right.
I was thinking it was a lot creeper than it was, and I watched it again, and I was like,
the story of that is you're like, oh, that candle's creepy. I'm like, I've never seen it, and you showed me a picture. I go, that's a little unsettling, but it's not terrible. I'm like, have you seen do you remember the Muppet Patch? You go, no, and I turn it, you go, oh, I go, I told you. I watched that as a kid, and I was like, ugh. In the Patrick Stewart one, it's Joel Grey, just with white makeup, so it's much less creepy because it's Joel Grey.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But Scrooged.
Duh. Scrooged.
Scrooged.
That's the only way.
Yes.
The only way to put it.
You should get more of your thoughts out of the way because two people at this table did not enjoy it a ton.
Okay, so hear me out. I'll tell
You got your notes in front of you?
One of the other reasons that was that?
You got your little notes in front of you?
I actually brought up IMDb. This is why I can reference
Okay,
anything.
good.
Believe me, I'm shooting all this. This is all coming. I don't script anything, ladies and gentlemen. It comes from my
It shows.
They can tell.
It comes right from the heart. This is how I truly feel. And so one of the other reasons why I probably really enjoyed this is because I watched this after I watched Indiana Jones, and Karen Allen is in this again, and so I'm always happy to see her. And
I really want to start talking, but you got to finish because that's another point to talk about. Keep going. Nothing against Karen Allen. I love Karen Allen, but keep going.
And I also appreciate, just like I said, I think it's definitely like tongue in cheek. It's hammy. It knows that it's not being like serious. And so when you have, I for the love of, I cannot remember the employee's name.
Are you talking about Elliot Loudermilk?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, the dude
Bob
that I thought
Goldthwait.
The dude that I thought was Bob Cratchit for much of the movie.
Yup. The one who's just kind of that's his whole character.
And also, I will say this would not fly today. If they tried making that happen, if they tried filming that, oh my gosh, that would be
yeah, that is funny.
Definitely not the same effect.
Jake thought that was Cratchit. Because I was sitting here while you were watching like the second half of it.
The whole time?
Yeah, you started it earlier in the day, and I was here for like the last half, and you're just like, you're making faces, and you're like, so is this supposed to be Bob Cratchit? And I go, no, give me a second. Where are you?
That's
Grace.
Yeah.
It's great. I was like, Grace is, because Grace has the kid that doesn't talk. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, that makes more sense. I go, yeah, it's not really clear on that, is it?
It's not really clear on much. Go ahead.
It doesn't have to be. It's silly. It's fun. It's entertaining.
Is it really though, or is it just angry?
It's a little angry.
I keep butting in, but I'm trying to make him talk before we get into our spiel.
And I also think especially, listen, I've always been a fan of oh my god, why can't I remember the Bill Murray Christmas movie, the Christmas Vacation.
Bill Murray?
That's Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Never mind. But they bring us...
I was going to say, there is another Bill Murray Christmas movie. It's called A Very Murray Christmas. I hear it sucks.
You know.
No, you're talking Christmas Vacation.
Well, I was
National Lampoon's
National
Christmas
Lampoon's.
Vacation.
I just like the angry dad makes me laugh. I was showing that. I didn't watch that as a kid a lot.
I want to butt in, but I have to let him keep talking.
You can butt... Like,
I don't want to trample on the good things you have to say before we turn it.
I just think
we don't want to trample on the good things you have to say before we trample on the good things you have to say.
Right, yeah, you want to give me the time to just get it all
because
out.
Otherwise we're just talking over you the whole time, like right now. Keep going.
I just think the way Bill Murray acts in this is super entertaining and so much fun. And it just ties everything... everything together that I see what you're doing. That it's just a silly, goofy, fun movie, and I genuinely enjoy it. Okay, what?
Okay. Oh, well.
So I want to So okay.
Sorry.
One thing I like about this movie is that it's directed by Richard Donner.
Yes,
I like Richard Donner for the Superman movies.
You mean his Superman movies, the superior version of 2?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But from what I hear and from what I read, Bill Murray and Richard Donner did not like each other. So when you say that Bill Murray was just having a grand old time, that's not true.
That's very interesting. Well, he did a good job at acting.
What I read was Richard Donner differed on how to approach it from Murray, and according to Bill Murray, only like one take, and this could be exaggerated, one take of what he liked is in the movie.
Huh.
Now, my guess, I could be wrong, is Bill Murray wanted to play it yelling here and there, but more of like just a colder character, and Donner probably said for every take, scream. And Bill Murray's like, no, because all Bill Murray does is yell through the whole movie, and it gets very irritating. Bill Murray is funny. Bill Murray yelling and being a jerk is funny.
For half an hour.
Or in bits and pieces,
that
spread
add up to
out.
about half hour.
But when he's yelling for 100 minutes, it just gets old quick. It's like, for me, Ice Cube in 21 Jump Street just dropping F-bombs. It's not funny after like 3 of them. Because he just keeps doing it. It's like, I'm not laughing anymore. It's funny if it's, and I know it's Ice Cube, but he just keeps going, and the scene keeps going. It's one of those, it's like those Family Guy gags where they just keep going.
They just keep going
and it's not funny. It's either, whether it starts funny or not is beside the point. It just, after a while, it's like, the joke is it keeps going, but it's not an entertaining
Those jokes
way.
Tend to get me.
The best
so
person,
that makes a lot of
the
sense.
best person at those kind of jokes, in my opinion, is Norm, because it's not an irritating way to get
yeah.
there. It's he's leading you on, and then when he gets to the punchline, it's nothing. That's funny to me. When it's something that's already not funny or annoying, and they just keep going over and over and over, that's where it gets irritating. And this movie, if that is the case, we could be wrong, but if it's Donner telling him to scream in every scene, it's like, yeah, I can understand where he'd be frustrated. He doesn't want to yell the whole time. That's not fun. It's fun here and there, but when every single scene is, like the scene where he.
What was that again?
Yeah, could you do that one more time?
I'm trying to find his name.
It doesn't have the power without the facial expressions.
So the scene where he finds a frozen dead Herman in the
Oh,
sewer
yeah.
is supposed to
Yeah.
be a serious moment, and they frame it like that, and the music and like the close up of the watch saying, "Hey, this is Herman." It's Michael J. Pollard. That's why I remembered him from the homeless shelter earlier, where Claire works. I always forget. So it's like this is supposed to be a moment where he realizes the gravity of reality, and he's confronted with it, and he can't go anywhere. But all he's doing is like, "Herman, wake up, you jerk! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!" And it's like, if you do it for a second and then he stops, and it like actually affects him in a quieter way, that works. Instead, he's just yelling.
The movie makes you think that Bill Murray has one setting, and we know he doesn't.
He's fully capable of other things.
Oh, I know he's definitely capable of other things. I just think he fits this role.
Oh, he fits the role.
Yeah.
It's too much. And that was our big thing is he gets to the point where I don't know if he can undo these terrible things. Be
I
redeemed.
do agree. I watching this, I'm just like, well, he's really like in Karen Allen's like Claire. She kept
Here's our point.
like she kept giving him second chances, and I'm watching this. I'm just like, okay,
That's
honestly,
that's the
here
thing
it
is like he would have been out the door. I'm sorry, but any like real woman would have just been like
That's
out the door. Bye.
And
Like,
most of those scenes where he's terrible, she's like still like what was fawning over him.
Yeah.
Is what you said. She's fawning over him when he's
Like
being a jerk to people.
like immediately when he goes on TV, she immediately just melts. There's no thought about it. She's like, I'm gonna run right to him, and it's like that's a little bit like
well, and then he's
dare I say it? It's a little bit like an abusive relationship, isn't it?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's like.
Don't get me wrong. I was like watching that this time. I was like, that rubs me the wrong way.
and like
I
the scene where he goes into the shelter and he's like, it was kind of funny. He's yelling at the homeless people, but then he like puts on the Richard Burton, which it was incredibly bad, but I was laughing because it is funny, and they're clapping, and I was like, okay, that's kind of a fun little moment. But then he's like insulting her volunteers in front of her. That's in character, but she's just smiling about it and still like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, why are you not? Why is there no pushback? There's like one scene of pushback from her, I feel like, and it's either the dog show scene where the dinner that gets interrupted, he has to change plans for, or there's another one, but it's like she doesn't really push back, and I don't know why, other than she's got to love him. Also, him kissing her in that scene was weird because if it had been like a year or two, it's still weird. But it's like, okay, they were somewhat recently in a relationship. It was like 15 years. You didn't see her for 15 years, and then the second time you see her after that, you're just kissing her on the lips like that. That was weird.
Yeah.
And she just takes it like she's fine with it. And I was like, I'm uncomfortable. And then seeing it again with him when he's watching, I'm like, yeah, it's still uncomfortable.
Yeah, that definitely did rub me wrong way too, but.
There are good parts.
I can appreciate
the film special is a cool idea, but they cut to it too much. It's kind of distracting from the main story. What were you about to say?
I was just gonna say we were talking about it after watching it, and I can appreciate what they tried to do because like it's a story that's been told since when did you say it was written?
Like the 1840s or something.
It's a story that's been told for nearly 100 years now, and
Yeah.
nearly respectably
Nearly
because it's
200 years.
nearly 200 years. Sorry, nearly 200 years, and I can't
1843.
I can't fault someone for wanting to innovate on that. I just think that, this suffers from 80s, basically.
It is a very 80s movie.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, me and Jake are not fans of
Well,
popular 80s
and
things.
I think they forsake a lot of what the story is at its core for the 80s. 80s
I can see that art.
type stuff.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I will say that I was laughing pretty hard at the Lee Majors, right?
The opening.
Yeah.
Yep. The guns.
I was laughing
That's
pretty
funny.
hard at that. I'd never seen this before, and I watched that, and I was like, oh, this is why Dickey likes it.
Yeah, that really did crack me up.
Yeah. And then, like, the Christmas special, it's like you have John Houseman narrating. It's like, yep, you have this prestigious older stage actor narrating. Buddy Hackett as Scrooge is hilarious. That terrible accent he's put. I love it. Jamie Farr has a brief cameo in there, too, as one of the ghosts. I think was it Marley or the ghosts? I can look at it right here a sec. He was Marley in the special. It's like, I spent most of the week going, I kind of want to watch that instead.
Yeah, I want to watch the special.
And we cut back to, that's the other thing. It's cool that they tried. It's not just one night him in this one. It's he's going in and out, but I think it does distract because then it becomes
like
too
so
focused.
much time passes between when he's given the warning and when the ghost actually shows up. Like it's so weird. Like isn't it like a day and a half or like
It was the next day at like noon.
Yeah, like it should be at night. Like it should be all one night. Or something in succession, and then like,
and we keep going back to the set of like, oh, but this has to get off the ground. It's like I don't care if that's running well.
If they did it like 3 times, it would make sense for it to end there.
Yeah,
but you're right. They did it too much, I think.
And the other thing is like they portray. I'm going to call him Lionel Luthor, John Glover's character,
one of my favorite
Bryce.
Actors ever.
Bryce is supposed to be like it's the classic character that he's like this obnoxious guy or this like corporate minded guy who comes in underneath him to kind of run it and kind of taking his job away from him. But Bryce never does anything bad. He's not annoying. He's doing his job. And every time Frank is screwing something up, he's on his case. He's like, why don't you go over here? Just get out of the way. We'll handle it. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. And then you get to that. They like tie him up.
And that mistletoe joke is just weird.
That was like where
Which one?
The mistletoe joke.
What is
at the very end?
The
where
censor
they have him tied up. And
the censor lady, like she looks at him, and I go, what? And then she goes like that, like this little slurp with her tongue. I go, ugh, and she's like all over. I'm like, is this supposed to be funny?
Was this set up for us, and we just don't know?
It was never set up. That poor lady is just doing her job and got hurt. It's like.
That's kind of silly.
It can
though,
be
right?
funny.
There was some joke about her boobs too, and the way the extra reacts is to grab her boobs, and I was like, really? Okay.
Are you talking about the dancer?
No, it wasn't.
You are talking about the
she
censor.
gets like knocked out, and he says, make sure her nipples are covered or something, and the dude starts to reach for her chest.
The nipple joke was funny though. Maybe I want to see her. I did laugh at that. There's funny parts.
Yeah, Bill Murray's
Carol Kane's the best part. Beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And I told Jake, I'm like, Jake, this is the best part of the movie, and you'll see why. And she kicks him right in the family jewels, and you laugh. I go, there could be more of this. I go, yeah. Oh yeah.
Can we get about 40 more minutes of that and about 30 minutes less of the Ghost of Christmas Past?
I'm here for just
we're not even in the past that long. That's the other thing. The ghosts don't take up that much time of it, and I think that's what also because we don't. Past is really they're all important. Past is really important in setting up where he got to where he is, but we get the one childhood scene that didn't really go into it because you asked me that question.
That is true
about his mom. Like, did his mom?
Oh yeah.
I go like, I don't know. It wasn't clear. Maybe I missed it.
So that does have one of my favorite jokes in the movie too. When the Ghost of Christmas Past walks through the door and he goes to follow him and just boof, and past heads pops out and goes, ha 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 ha.
He is good. The taxi driver is good. And I'd seen clips of that before. I was like, oh, that's this movie. Okay. Yep.
Who is that? Is he in anything else of note?
I was about to say he is.
It's David Johansen. I've seen him in Married to the Mob and Free Jack. You ever seen Free Jack?
No.
We'll have to talk about it sometimes. Terrible.
He was also in A Very Merry Christmas. He must just like working with Bill Murray.
Yep. Cats Don't Dance. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Bunch of other smaller stuff. So
he gave me
He's a singer and an actor too. It says so.
He gave me
the New York Dolls is the group he's from.
I know you probably love this movie, Halloween Town.
Yeah.
He gave me very much the cab driver from that vibe, just like crazy out of his mind.
Yeah, Billy.
Harry Potter 3 is also like the crazy.
Oh yeah, but the ghosts were good. I like the look of them. I like how each one was different and how they like one.
I was not
cab driver is a good idea for a contemporary take.
I was not a fan of the Jacob Marley ghost.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was. You're talking where
his
he's
old
like
boss.
Yeah,
with like the golf balls
Yeah.
coming out of his
Oh,
head.
yes.
Like that was it was too much. It was
That was
just
John Forsythe, I think.
yeah.
Yep. But there is one person that I was happy every time he was on screen, and that was Robert Mitchum, as he's the president, right? Or no, Bill Murray's the president.
He's the
No. I think Bill Murray he is the top guy, the dude that talks about cats.
Yeah, I know.
Robert
I'm trying to
Mitchum.
remember his position. So he's the president. Bill Murray's like the CEO or something who like runs everything.
Yeah, that
television.
sounds
right.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's never explained to us. Don't really all we know is that's his boss.
That's all that matters.
Well, I mean, that is all that matters in this context.
The cat
But
thing was like, Frank, cats and dogs, they watch TV. And one day, 20 years, they'll be watching. It's like,
and then the amount of cats he has in his apartment. And he kicks the one cat. What is with these Christmas carols and being violent toward animals?
and what is it about kicking an off-screen cat and it goes, wow? It's funny. You kick a dog and everyone gets mad. Because I get mad. It's like, don't kick a dog. You kick a cat. I go, ha, 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 ha. Is it just something that's like programmed into us as kids watching like TV shows do
I think
that?
it's the sound they make.
And it's definitely
And
part
the
of the
like,
sound.
I don't know what it is. It's like, it's not like I want to kick a cat at all. I wouldn't do that. The point being, like, why is it in these movies like this? It's funny, but then if you kick a different animal, it's not. It's like a weird cat bias thing I've noticed. I don't know. I just in that moment I go, why is that funny? But no other animals, it's funny.
It's definitely. Yeah, I think. Oh no, I'm more of a dog person. So just
Me
saying.
too. So yeah, Robert Mitchum, my favorite part other than Carol Kane. Just there's something about Robert Mitchum yelling and swearing that is like like I don't know what it is. I've seen other movies where he like yells and swears at people, and I also laugh. He's just got this screen presence that is just unmatched by people in like later eras of acting. I don't know what
He's
like
very good at getting the over the topisms.
I will say that I thought for a while that he was the voice of
I know who you're talking about from We're Back.
Yeah, that's Walter Cronkite.
Yep.
No,
They have very
he
similar
has a
voices.
very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
What's his name? Professor New Eyes.
Is it New Eyes?
I feel like it's New Eyes.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Fact check me on that, but the other one is Screw Eyes, obviously.
Professor Screw Eyes, and then what's the other one? Captain New Eyes. Yep.
With the eyes.
Yeah. So Robert Mitchum was like. There's a lot of good people in the cast. Like I don't know how to say her name. Who played Grace? I think it's Alfre Woodard. I've seen her in a lot of other things too. She's really good in this.
I think it's the
I feel bad for her in this because her boss is a jerk.
Chalk this up as another movie where I look away for a half a second, or like turn my attention somewhere else, and I miss a key part of the movie.
What part did you miss?
In the scene where they decorate the little boy, which is a nice, cute little scene, like ignoring the dangerous part of it. they talk about why he doesn't talk, and then we go into, and then I missed that. He goes into the future and he's in a straitjacket, and I'm like, what is happening?
And in that moment, Jake's like, "Why do they do it?" I go, Jake, he doesn't talk because he watched his father die in front of him a couple years before. They said that. He's like, when did they say it? At the house. It's like around the Christmas tree. Before that, when they're in the window. And he goes, I must have missed it. I'm like, I was standing here with you. And I heard it and saw it.
Sometimes you just miss things.
It was funny. It's like.
Especially this time of year.
You keep doing that. You did it with Oppenheimer. You did it. What was the other recent one?
That was a bit more key to my enjoyment of the movie, though.
I know, but it's like this. It's one part that is very important, and Jake,
Nope.
and then looks back and the line's done. It's just you do have a good habit of that.
I do.
It's the same as I probably mentioned on this podcast. My father, when we were younger, had a knack for walking in on the one scene of the movie that is like more profane or more sexual or something like the
always.
worst part, and he'd walk in. What are you watching? And we'd tell him, it's not even like a bad movie in his, and he's like, I don't think I like that. He'd walk out. Dark Knight Rises. There's one scene where Bruce and what is her name? Oh boy, Talia.
Yeah.
Talia or whatever she's going by at that point. They got freaky off screen, so there's an important moment of like exposition where they're, it's pillow talk by the fireside.
Yep.
And he walks down while my sister and I watch. He's like, "What are you watching?" We're like, "Batman." They just leave, and I'm like, this is almost a 3-hour long movie, almost 3 hours long, and that's the part he walks
That one
down.
he could probably hear it from upstairs, though.
Yeah, he could hear it, but I mean, he still walked down at that one moment where he's like, "What are you watching?"
Fair.
He did it too with. Now you want to talk about a terrible movie that we were watching? He walked in with Blindside, garbage, and he doesn't walk through, and it was a bunch of us watching. My mom was there because it was the first time watching. He walks in right when she tells him, "If you get a girl pregnant, I'm going to cut your penis off." That's the line he walks in on. He's like, "What are you watching? The Blind Side?" Huh. And leaves, and we all start laughing like, "What? This whole movie, nothing close to that." Then he walks in on that line. It's just, I don't know how he does it. My mom would say, like, it happens to me too. I'll be watching something. He walks up, "What are you watching?" And she's like, "I don't know why. I don't know how he gets that." So you have a gift. Cherish it.
I don't know that I don't know that I don't know that I'd call it a gift.
But back to the movie. I like Bill Murray's brother it is his brother in real life too. I like that connection. I like the whole, like, his brother is a family, kind of a family. I don't think he has kids yet, but family man. They have friends around, and Frank is just not really in his life. But that one scene where they're walking together at the beginning, you can feel the connection. I go, I wish there was more of this, because that's a big part of the present, and they are there for one scene, but they didn't do much. It was just the gift, and then, of course, the trivia things.
I was going to say, I did like the trivia bit was kind of funny to me.
I wish there was more of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was fast. It could have been a little bit longer, I don't think.
I don't think make the movie longer. I think cut down on the cutting back to reality and I'm going crazy and
I did.
Help me, Claire. I'm going nuts and instead it should be more of the ghosts so we can understand him better, because I don't really understand. It's just basically, he had a rough childhood and then just got rich.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anger. Spite. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
I did like the way they did the future, though. The future vision. It just felt different with just the casket there, and then they push him into the fire, and then he's in the casket.
Yeah.
But it had the line delivery that you're like, that's it. It's like, oh no, my brother, what is it, David, is dead or something like that. And you're like, that's his reaction to that? I can't remember his brother's name. I'm looking... James, sorry, not David. My brother, James, he's dead. And you're like, that's the take they used?
I didn't say it was perfect. I said I liked the idea behind it.
It is like, the idea is great, but that's the one part you're like, that's the take? And I go, that's probably the take Bill Murray liked. But then, like, him in the box when it's getting incinerated
that was
like,
that was pretty scary.
It's effective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I liked it. It was like scary enough.
Yeah, it's different than the standard, fall into the grave and.
Yeah.
I was just double checking. Yeah, and it is like a fully rated PG-13. It's not like it's just super for kids. And I like that it was a little more adulty than some of the others.
Scrooged for kids.
Yeah. Oh my God. Him playing
jokes for kids.
Him playing the dog, like the little dancing dog, just to get ahead in like show business. I was like, oh my God. Like it also
that looks so uncomfortable.
Oh, I forgot about that entirely.
Yeah, it was a very strange scene.
This is not PG-13. It's PG.
What?
Yeah.
It says it right here on IMDb.
I'm seeing it right there. It says PG.
Are you both looking at IMDb?
Yeah.
It says PG. What are you looking at? I scrolled down to the certificate. Also, it says PG.
Look, Scrooged. IMDb.
Yeah, I'm also on IMDb.
How about that?
Another reason Macs suck.
Well, that's not anything to do with that.
Well, then what is it?
That, I don't know. It's probably some IMDb bug.
IMDb bug.
Yeah, don't blame my computer.
I'm blaming your computer. Yeah, because Google also says PG-13. This is weird.
What's the real answer?
I bet you if he puts it in Safari, it'll be PG-13. Or, sorry, it'll be PG.
Yeah, I'll just keep going back and forth. Never an answer.
Never a real answer.
Does anybody
Never,
remember
never.
when this came out?
I mean, I wasn't alive, and
I'm
you
sorry,
weren't alive.
did you say, does anybody remember when this came out, or was anybody alive when this came out?
No,
I was alive when this came
no,
out.
Yeah,
I said
you
remember.
were.
Please
Two?
comment and tell us if it was.
It came out in November.
Oh, yeah, it was
You
one.
were one.
This came out.
That is the other, I mean, all Christmas movies come out. Like, rarely does a Christmas movie come out in December, I
Yeah.
think.
Because once Christmas is over,
No one cares.
no one goes.
They want to really. You're right, around Thanksgiving, so they get all the weeks back to back to back to back.
Yeah,
I mean, they released Frozen in November, didn't they? I mean, that's not really a Christmas movie, but...
you
I don't know. I think they should release Christmas movies in May. Let's go.
I mean, they kind of did that with Boss Baby 2 at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, that was July.
Yeah. Like, that's definitely a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Frozen came out also. It was a Thanksgiving release. It looks like November. And I know it's not Christmas, but yeah, I remember that coming out late in the year. Don't forget, this year, Haunted Mansion came out in July.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it. I don't know how good or bad it is. Why would you not put that out in October?
And when you look at how good Five Nights at Freddy's did, and they were on, like on dual releases, like they on streaming in there, just
yeah.
back to Scrooge. Anything else about this awesome?
Well,
movie?
we got also we talk about Elliot Loudermilk. It's Bobcat. How do you say? Is it Goldthwait? Well, Goldthwait. I cannot say
I
that.
have no idea
The
how to
only
pronounce
thing
it.
I know him from is Hercules, where he played.
Like the show?
No, the movie. He's either Pain or Panic. Let me look
That's
that up.
right. Listening to his voice, that
He's
sounds
the chubby
exactly-
one. Yeah, he's Pain.
Okay.
He's the purple one. Because I remember, like, that's a pretty distinct voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come in, this or whatever he says. I don't know the word. That's exact. So this movie is, oh, Frank, I hear you have a job back.
He really fell off really fast.
And you brought up like, oh, that dubbing is terrible. I go, and
Oh,
in
yeah.
the moment I didn't say anything, now I realize, of course it's terrible. No one knows what the hell he's saying. So it's like, okay, good old Bob. Hey, Bob, what did you say in the scene? I don't remember. Bob, we're not Phil. You can talk normal. Okay. I don't know what I said. Well, just make up some gibberish and we'll dub it.
That's like real bad dubbing.
Somehow I did not catch that.
It's because you're too busy laughing at him firing a shotgun at Bill Murray, which
While they're
I may
running,
have been sitting there going, get him.
while they're running through the office with the cubicles, it's not a close shot, but it's dubbed, and you can see that they're clearly not talking, and they're clearly not like talking with any sort of like urgency to them. They're just running around, and it's like, oh no, don't shoot me. Oh yes, I will. Oh no.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh no, don't shoot me. What are you doing?
No, I don't know. It'd be Bill Murray yelling still, so it'd be louder, Bill. You know, don't shoot me. That's the whole scene.
You do that voice really well.
Not feeling good. So that I was actually kind of having fun, like, and as I told him, and he likes it less than I do, because I actually find the last 10 to 20 minutes the redemption post-ghost thing. I say post-ghost, they show up again, which that's fine. But when they do that, it is enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's worth its payoff that's not earned because he's so horrible the whole movie. There is no slight changing into that. He just kind of does it. Mm-hmm. And him interrupting the broadcast, I was like, okay. And he's giving this long speech. I'm going, oh, okay. Imagine if he spent the whole movie not yelling, and then he yelled during that speech. That's a good juxtaposition. He's much colder. But it's a Bill Murray comedy, and they wanted him to be screaming and being a jerk. He can still be a jerk without yelling.
Yeah, but it's more entertaining.
But I was enjoying it. I was like, okay, this is where the movie's starting to actually work for me a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's a shame that it takes a while for us to start to like him a little bit, and even then we don't really like him that much because he's just a jerk.
Yeah, I know. I definitely thought that this time it was he played like literally the worst person I could not play. I know they have to redeem him at the end. I know that's the story, but he does not deserve it. He did not deserve it at all.
No, and like Jake said a couple minutes ago, like, Claire would be out of there right away. He acting like that.
Any sane, rational woman would not.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those, well, she has to like him, because if she doesn't like him, we don't have time to have her, like, change, or, or that's too much, or we can't have her not be in it at all. But then you're forced to stick with him through all those, they probably can changing stuff about him being louder. Because I think Bill Murray has said, like, the script is good. That the original script that they had, or whatever draft they got to the shooting through, but he says it got lost in yelling. I know we keep saying that, but that's what the whole movie is. It's just Bill Murray screaming at people for 100 minutes.
That takes place during Christmas.
Should we talk about maybe one of the final sequences that has, I don't know if aged the worst is.
A lot of this movie is aged poorly.
Where he starts talking to the audience.
Are you talking about the mistletoe?
No, where he starts talking to the audience as the credits roll.
Oh, yeah, because it's a fun thing. Because I said to Jake when he's watching, I'm like, here's something that only works in the movie theater. When he's like, they're all singing the what was the song?
For he's a jolly,
a
jolly good fellow.
It wasn't that. It was. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping, put a little love in your. Yeah. Okay, now this side of the theater. That's it. Okay, the other side of the theater. Okay, now the man. Now the real man. Okay, the ladies. Now the real. Like, this joke is funny once in 1988 in the theater. It's not funny anywhere else. And it just keeps going, and they're singing behind it. Yeah, love in your heart, put a little love in your heart. So they're going, this would be so much funnier. The theater, 30-some years ago.
It definitely gave me, like, Toy Story, like, bloopers vibes. Like
almost 40 years ago.
I know. What is it, 35 years? Yep.
Yeah.
35. Yeah, the thing with the bloopers, though, that's not just a theater. That works anywhere, because bloopers are funny. Because other movies has done bloopers too.
I mean, heck, Toy Story does bloopers. Did bloopers.
That's what he started with.
I literally just said that.
Totally wasn't
listening. That's what he started with. Like, well, and then you have Toy Story doing bloopers. That's what the first thing he said.
It's good to know that you just don't listen.
You have a gift.
I didn't even hear him say that. I was listening to you, dude. Do a little love in your heart.
Put a little love in your heart. Oh, so yeah, and also I mentioned the mistletoe again. Not the one with Lionel in the booth, all tied up. That poor guy, just doing his job.
But
God. Just imagine it. He didn't cut his hair from 1988 to when he was on Smallville.
But he grew a beard and became a jerk.
Yeah, but the best kind of jerk.
Yeah. But it reminds me. His type of character reminds me of, like, all the characters other than Tom Cruise and Top Gun, where everything they say to him, oh, they're right. You're terrible, and then they're portrayed as, like, not the good guy.
Yeah.
I was getting that vibe of, like, what is it about 80s movies and, like, the main character's awful, but we're supposed to like them. We're supposed to dislike normal people that are just trying to be good.
It's because they're too lame. They're not like, edgy.
All you have to do for that character, for Bryce, is when he's introduced, he's maybe scummier in a different way than Bill Murray, and so when make him the same amount of scummy, so then when Bill Murray's making his change, then you see, okay, Bryce is still pushing the scummy agenda, and Bill Murray interrupting the broadcast is like this moment of defiance to that. But Bryce doesn't do anything wrong.
No,
he doesn't do anything. He's just trying to run the production. That's
a better
it.
job than Bill Murray.
Yeah, but I was saying, Bill Murray straight up just makes out with that girl on live TV, and I was like, isn't your ex that you want to get back with that you kissed like the other day watching you make out with this random dancer?
The only way to prove that he loves Karen Allen more is to say, oh, that kiss wasn't nearly as much as it meant if I were to kiss Karen Allen.
Yeah, it's
like, oh my.
You just wanted to kiss that pretty dancer girl. You were mean to Karen Allen. That's not okay.
It's not.
It reminds me of, because there's a movie that Carol Kane's in from the 70s where it's like a very small indie film, and it's like her husband treats her terribly, and the top letterbox is like, "You're not gonna catch me treating Carol Kane like that." Yeah, like you watch that, when you watch this, like, that's not okay, bud.
That's not okay.
I know it's portrayed as not okay, and this one, it's like, you're not gonna be mean to her. She's this nice to you, and you're that mean. Let's have a little talk.
They add some Christmas presents here for her. Such a
I don't dislike this. I can see why people like this, and if you were around when it came out and loved Bill Murray, this is something you watch every year. I was just like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know when I'll watch it again. If I will watch it again, who knows what will happen, but glad I finally saw it, because I have had people say that they really enjoy it.
This was your first time watching it?
Both of us.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I'm glad I could be the one to introduce you to this.
I believe, because I think last week we hadn't seen his, and I think next week you guys haven't seen mine. I don't believe. So each one of our picks,
it's all gonna be the first
only the person who picked.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, that is also refreshing to go. No previous knowledge. It's first time watches for the other two, and yeah, it's fine. This one, it's just, I don't have much of an emotional reaction outside of what we said about the yelling, and I don't need to do any more because my throat's starting to hurt.
I don't blame you there. Yeah. Like I said, this is always it comes around Christmas time. Most likely, I'm going to be rewatching this myself. It's definitely on my traditional list. But so, anything else about Scrooged?
Scrooge! Got anything else?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that a pick in your mic?
Yes.
Oh, cool. You were saying?
That threw me off.
I was like, what is on his mic?
So yeah, guys, if you like watching this, if you like watching this episode, and you're like, where you like this, Jared, where do they follow us online? Because my mouth just simply is not working.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the funny TikTok, and I was gonna make a horrible joke, but I couldn't think of one. You can listen to us on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ring our bell. Make sure you rate us on all those apps, and check out our groovy website during these festive holiday seasons.
Absolutely. And stay tuned for next week. We got another next episode in this series. We got Jared's pick coming.
Yep, which it is the 1970 musical version Scrooged with Albert Finney. So watch that.
Yes, no D. Go watch that one and then come back and then talk about that. So yes, thank you for listening from all of us here at All of Slate Media. We'll see you guys next time.